Alright, welcome once again to another Microsoft Excel class. Today we'll be looking at how to hide columns and rows and how to freeze cells in Excel. My name remains Jimo, and let's just get into this. Why do we need to hide columns and rows? There'll be some times in Excel where you need to create a formula column, and the formula column will control another column or control some group of cells, and you need to hide that column because that particular column will not be something that you want people to be able to have access to, or maybe it is something that is just performing an automated task and it's not something that people should see. Or maybe there are some times you need to temporarily hide a column because you want to print some data and you don't want that column to appear. Or there may be other reasons why you need to hide the rows and columns. Alright, so whatever reasons you may encounter in the future, the technique is the same. So let's get into it. Let's say we want to hide the carton column here. All we need to do is to right click here, move your mouse here to the header of the column, that's column I, right click on it, and you select hide. Alright, so you notice that it's hidden. You have GHJK. Now notice that there is now a double line here close to each other, which shows that there is a hidden column. Alright, so one way to unhide is to move your mouse till you see a double vertical line as a cross like this. Normally this is a single cross, but this is a double vertical cross. If you notice the difference, once it turns to this, you can left click and drag out. So if you drag out, you have unhidden that particular column. Okay, so another way to unhide, let me hide back, let me do that again, right click and hide. Another way to unhide is to come here, or just click on any column that is not hidden and click on hide. Okay, another way to unhide is to move your mouse till it turns to this double vertical cross sign, then right click and do unhide. Alright, I would also like to say that you can hide multiple columns as well, not just single columns. Let's say I want to hide food quantity and stock left. You can select this, that's left click on this, then hold down my control on my keyboard or the command on your Mac, click on this, then you now right click on any of them and do hide. They will all be hidden. To unhide it, you move it till it turns to a double vertical cross here, and right click and do unhide here. Everything will be unhidden. Alright, so what about rows? You can do the same thing for rows. Let's say I want to hide the first row here. I can right click there and I do hide, and it will be hidden. How do you unhide it? Just move your mouse till it's here, a double horizontal line cross, then right click and do unhide, and then you can go ahead and try this out. So another way you can hide is to select maybe the columns or the rows you want, multiple or single. Then you can come to format, under the home, cells, format, then you see hide and unhide here, so you can perform it from here as well. Alright, you can unhide as well from here. Next, we're going to look at how to freeze cells. Now, what does it mean to freeze cells or freeze rows or freeze columns? What does it mean? I'm going to pause this video temporarily now, and I'll enter in some more data here so you see the importance of freezing cells or freezing rows and columns in Excel. Alright, notice now that I've expanded this information to contain more data. Alright, and I have the header names right now increased to, and I have the header names increased now to accommodate more information, and I have the ID from 1 to 18. And if I scroll to number 18, you will notice that I no longer see the column heads, which are these ID, food name, carton color, and so on. By the time I go to number 18, I no longer see them, and I want to be able to see them when I'm scrolling down like this. Likewise, notice that I can't see the other part, which is stolen and sold. And if I decide to scroll to the right to see them, I no longer see this particular information properly. So what I want to do is that I want to keep this information, or whatever information is to my left, which is important, in focus while I scroll to the right, and I want to keep this information on the first row or whatever rows that are on top. Whenever I'm scrolling down, I want to be able to maintain and see those information there. So this is where freezing of cell comes into play. Alright, so I only increase this data so we can simulate what it will look like when we have thousands of data like this, 1 to 1,000 or 1 to 1,000,000, or when we have a lot of data across the rows like this and the cells like this. Alright, so this is how we can freeze these cells, the rows and the columns, so that we ensure we see the information we want when we want it. Alright, so first we go to the view tab. Alright, then under the window here you will notice freeze panes. Okay, this is what we're going to be working with. Alright, so if I click on this drop down, there are 3 of them. There's freeze panes, which says keep rows and columns visible while the rest of the worksheet scrolls. Okay, so there's freeze top row, there's freeze first column. Alright, so if I want to ensure that I see this first row whenever I'm scrolling down like this, whenever I keep scrolling down, that first row remains in view, I'm going to go ahead and click freeze top row. So this is what happens. You notice that there is now a thin line, horizontal line across, which is thicker than the normal lines of the Excel spreadsheet. So now this particular top row has been frozen, so I can go ahead now and go down. Notice that even while I keep going down to number 18, I can still see what the title of each of these columns are. Alright, so to unfreeze that, I will come back to freeze panes here under view, and I'll do unfreeze panes. Alright, it will take that off. Okay, so what if I want to freeze the first column, which is A? I can do that and do freeze first column, and if I scroll this way, the first column remains in view. Notice that the column A is still in view. Alright, so I'll come back here and I'll unfreeze panes. Now what I want to do is that I want to keep the top row, which contains the title of the columns, and this information here in focus, whether I'm scrolling left or downwards. I want to be able to maintain this information. So what I will do is to take my mouse and put it on the second row, which is below the top row, and I'll put it on a column after the information here. So take note, I want to ensure that this is in view and this row is in view. I want to ensure that information here is in view and also this is in view. So whether I scroll up or down, I want to be able to see this and see this, see this. Alright, so how I'm going to do that is to move my mouse and click on the cell which is directly under this top row. Right, in that case, this is any of the cells here. Any of the cells in row 2 are directly under the top row, so it can be here, it can be here. But now for me to get the exact cell, I want to also consider here what is the next cell that is on row 2 after this. That is this place. This column is immediately after this information here. The column F is immediately after this information here, and this particular cell is on row 2, which is directly under the top row. Do you understand? Okay, so if I do this, this won't be right, because this is not this will mean that I will be able to freeze the top row, but I'll be able to now freeze this part as well, which is empty information. So I want the column immediately after this data here, which is this column here, and I want the row which is immediately under the top row, which is here. So where they meet is here. So this is where I will click, and I'll come here and I'll do freeze panes. So click on freeze panes now, and notice that it will freeze the top row and this part of the cell, this part of the spreadsheet rather. Alright, so if I scroll down, notice that I keep this in view. Right, this is still working. And if I scroll to the left now, to the right, notice that I have kept this in view. Alright, so this is what I wanted to achieve, and I've achieved that. So this is how to keep some parts of your spreadsheet in view while you scroll. And freeze pane enables us to do that. So I'll go ahead here now and unfreeze panes. So everything is back to how it was. Alright. So for the sake of this exercise, I'll just have to leave it so that by the time you download the spreadsheet, you will understand how I was able to do it. So I'll go ahead and do that again. Alright. So we have this working and we have this working. Alright. So this will be the end of the video for this tutorial class. You can download the spreadsheets from the description below, and you can play with what we've learned today, or you can create your own spreadsheet and play with hiding of columns and rows and see how you can freeze and unfreeze rows and columns and cells. Alright, so in our next video we'll be looking at Excel formulas and functions. So we are going into the very interesting stuff, and I don't want you to miss that for anything. Alright, so meanwhile, if you have any questions, leave them behind in the comments below. But don't forget to tell your friends about this Excel, share this video with them, and don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video.